Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the May 1st Cumberland County Board of Commissioners meeting. At this time, I will call on Commissioner Keefe for the invocation, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be, no, it's not, will be by the Child Advocacy Center 2003 Champion for Children Award.
Madam Chair, would you want to announce that Commissioner Jones is attending by phone?
Commissioner Jones is attending by phone. Commissioner Jones, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Thank
Good
you.
morning.
Thank you. We'll now have our invocation.
Thank you, Rear Rise. Good morning. Bless this day that we have together today. And let's take a moment to reflect and understand the role that we have and the honor we have of serving here. Let us always be mindful of service above self and not self-service. Bless our people with passion and compassion as we move forward doing the people's business. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Julie, you want to take this? Just take that.
Good morning, everyone. So I'd ask the Cumberland County Children's Service Team and our legal division to come up front. Oh, they slow coming up front. Oh, get on up here.
They just wondered if you meant everybody.
I want everybody, everybody. Everybody's a part of this. Come on around this way so everybody can see it. Come on. Get in the wheel. Get in the wheel. Come on. Who's speaking for the group today, though? All righty. Well, you stand on up here with me then. I've seen some of these faces. They've been here for a while. Come on. Patrick's in court. Which courtroom? I'll go call the judge, tell him to bring him on down here. I just cut their power off and they won't be able to do anything. But it does give me great, this is quite an honor that we received through DSS and our children's services. As an attorney, I've done the DSS court, and you all do a phenomenal job in terms of protecting the children in our community. And this year, they won the annual award for the child abuse from Child Advocacy Center. There was a number of, and I don't know if I voted for y'all because I had to do some judging on this, but the names were redacted and I didn't see them, so I didn't know what y'all were. But there were a number of agencies that were submitted, and you all came out heads and above everybody else. And at the Child Summit on April 10th, 2023, y'all were recognized for that. And so we want to be able to know that you had this. It just says, just when the caterpillar through its life was over, it became a butterfly. Thank you for being a champion for children and bringing hope to the children in our community. Agency and Group Champion for Children, DSS, Children's Services and Legal Department, 2022. And if you've ever been to the Child Advocacy, you see the pinwheels, which is, yeah, everybody clap. It is great. Yeah. If you've seen the pinwheels and if you know the number of cases that we have through the Child Advocacy Center, is that more of our people? We're going to wait for them? Come on up. Come on up. don't know, is anybody in court today then? Besides the legal team? Besides the legal team? We all getting here, because we all got to get in this picture. Oh, some people ain't going to be seen way back there. I'm about to take 3 or 4 pictures up there today. But it is, the county commissioners want to thank you all. This is a hard task, and especially when you have to go out and you deal with families and deal with child abuse and what you see every day on a daily basis and what you confront on a daily basis. So know that the commissioners are truly proud of your recognition of this award and for what you do every single day for the children in this community, because that's what we need. They're our future, and you know, they're just innocent children that are caught up in a situation that's really not good. So thank you all so very much, and I'm gonna let you have a couple of words.
Well, I would just like to say thank you to Children's Services and the legal team. I'm standing here holding this award, but actually the people who do the work are all the people standing behind me, and they do a phenomenal job, just like Commissioner Adams said. They do it each and every day. They work without thought for anything other than the safety and well-being of children. And so I'm so proud of them and proud to be a part of this team.
So y'all move on in so we can get us some kind of a picture in here. He'll stand up. If nothing else, just raise your hand for those that can't. If my commissioners could stand in the back. All right. There we go. Oh, you're all going. I mean, even if she's standing in front of the podium, we won't see Can't see her either. Come on up to her. Y'all get on up. Y'all more important than I am. I'm gonna move on back here in the back. Brenda. Before they leave, don't come in here. Brenda, how do we go out to the front steps and have John take one on the front steps so he can get a better picture of it? John, can you take one on the front steps with me?
Congratulations, everyone. I wish that I could have given that, but I asked Commissioner Adams too, but thank you so much for all that you continue to do. At this time, I'll give them a couple seconds to finish going out. At this time, I want to recognize the Cumberland County staff for County Government Week during April 24th through the 28th. And congratulations to the employees who received their service pins. And I definitely want to thank Andrea Tebby, Iva Clark, Clarence Greer, Shally Shuck, Brian Haney, and Heather Skeens, our county manager and county manager team. Thank you all.
I don't know what happened. I'm muted. I'm here. It's all right.
At this time, we will move to the approval of the agenda. County Manager Greer, are there any changes to the agenda?
There's one change, Chairwoman. Item 2A in the presentations, the Lonely Pine Realtors Association, that's been removed.
Okay, if I can get a motion for approval with the exception of 2A.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor?
Commissioner Jones?
Aye. Approve. In favor.
Unanimous.
Thank you. We'll now move on to the consent agenda. Mr. Greer, are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda?
No, not that I'm aware of, unless some commissioners have some.
Commissioner Booth?
3D, please. Won't take but 1 second, one question.
Are there any others? If I can get a motion for approval with the exception of 3D.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor?
Commissioner Jones?
In favor.
Unanimous.
Okay, Commissioner Booth?
Yeah, my question, and I don't know, because it's changed people over the years, who I'd ask this. I don't know if it's Gene Booth or our county manager, or do we have generators at all of our designated emergency centers?
We do not yet. We've been working on a project with Jermaine and Engineering and the school system partnership to get permanent generators located at each of those, or some at a different level.
Okay, is there a deadline on that? Because I started asking about this 5 years ago. In fact, we met a U.S. congressman out at Pine Forest, and he wanted to see how it all worked. We didn't have one there. Could you imagine how embarrassing it's going to be to have it as preparedness week, and we have a disaster, we send people out of their homes because they might lose power, and they go to Pine Forest Senior High and don't have any power?
There's some of those schools, such as Pine Forest, Southview, they do have backup generators or minimal power for emergency life safety exiting purposes. We've also brought in additional external generators from contractors and through state requests before. We'd like to get those permanent generators as quickly as possible.
Okay, well, talk about it again. Thank you.
Commissioner Keith?
Yeah, I'd just like to touch base on that. We are coming into hurricane season. June 1st actually starts hurricane season. And we do have a 911 center working now. But to reiterate what Commissioner Booth was saying, we have been working on this a long time, because what happened was at one of the shelters, we had a full house there, and they lost power with no backup power. And we started on this with ARP money, and we started on it, but we seem to always be getting speed bumps and roadblocks, unable to do it. So I would say the emphasis is there. As we all know that went through Hurricane Matthew and Florence, it can come up quickly, and if you're not prepared, you can have devastating consequences. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Commissioner Adams?
I would move to approve the proclamation designating the week of April 30th through May 6th as Hurricane Preparedness Week in Cumberland County.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor?
Commissioner Jones?
In favor.
Unanimous.
Thank you. We will now move on to our items of business. County Manager Greer, if you would introduce the item and the presenter.
Yes, the first item of business, 4A, consideration of award for Cumberland County Headquarters Library cooling tower replacement, and Jermaine Walker, Director of Engineering and Infrastructure, will be providing an overview of this agenda item.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Morning.
This project is to replace a 200-ton cooling tower at the headquarters library. Formal bids were solicited on March 3rd. Bid period closed on the 23rd. And the lowest responsive bid was by Smith's Refrigeration Hub Business out of Robeson County. This project was approved in the FY23 capital investment project funding and has appropriate funding to complete the project. We're requesting the approval of the bid award and to allow the chairwoman to execute the contract once it completes finance audit and legal sufficiency.
Any questions? I want to ask if there were, I looked at the bids, none of these were in Cumberland County?
Ivy Mechanical.
Okay. Any other questions? If I can get a motion?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the bid award to Smith's Refrigeration Incorporated based on the best overall value standard of the award, and assume that you will execute the contract once it completes finance.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor?
Commissioner Jones?
In favor.
Unanimous?
Okay, we will now move on to item 4B, consideration of engaging outside counsel. Manager Greer, if you will introduce the item and the presenter.
Yes, this is consideration of outside counsel to pursue manufacturers of firefighting foam products and other products containing PFAS. Rick Moorfield, County Attorney, will present this item.
Commissioners, this is the same group of attorneys that represents the county in the case that's pending against Chemours. They brought this to me. They're not filing a case. There are over 4,000 cases pending right now for firefighting foam. They're all basically being decided in the district court in South Carolina and U.S. District Court. The state, I think what brought more attention on it was the state of North Carolina actually filed a lawsuit back in October, November of last year, claiming damages to the state's natural resources. The attorneys are advising us that because of the state being in it like this, that it would behoove Cumberland County, and I think they're advising the same thing to the other counties representing, to enter into the case for settlement purposes only. The firefighting foam, it has been used widely for training at Fort Bragg. It has been used at the airport here, so we do know that for training purposes, and that's where most of the training is, where most of the use of this, widespread use of this has been around the country. It is basically a carcinogen, and all the individual cases are cases brought for claims that the firefighting foam caused cancer among the plaintiffs, and that's why it hasn't been much of a focus from local governments at all. But in any event, it's the same sort of fee arrangement that they have with the case with Chemours. It's a 25% of the gross, any gross settlement awarded to Cumberland County. Expenses that they may incur in doing that would be taken out after that. If there's no recovery, then there's no fee or cost for expenses either. It's my recommendation that we go forward with it.
Any questions? Commissioner Adams?
Yeah, I just have a question because, and I guess, and maybe Commissioner Booth can help me on this. This is not even doing the lawsuit. This is just, once the lawsuit's done, is to get the settlement. And we're gonna pay 25% for somebody just to argue for the settlement and then take it out of the gross receipts. I don't mind them doing it, but I would negotiate 25% when you're just doing the settlement. Most firms are getting 33 or a third when they do the whole litigation. All we're talking about is now, Rick, fighting over our share from the state of North Carolina once this lawsuit is done. And there's no local participation in this to be able to do that. I mean, even when we did the other one with Bud and those, there was some local participation. What happened to that local participation? Why we go with these two as opposed to what happened to the firm that was engaged with them in the local participation part? I guess those are two questions. I think 25% is just a little high.
Okay, well, and you can certainly go back and offer less or nothing, not do it at all.
Well, I don't have a problem. I mean, we probably need somebody in the room. You always got to have somebody in the room. But to argue just over the settlement part, 25% just seems to be a little bit high. And then the no local participation, because they cut our local firm out, because they did have a local firm when they went with the other lawsuit. So I think, for me, for commissioners, I would want to go back and negotiate that 25% and possibly talk about some local participation.
Is that a motion?
No, I think Jimmy.
Commissioner Keith.
Thanks. I noticed that the potential plaintiffs on this, firefighters, chemical industry workers, military service members, does this also include volunteer firefighters?
It would be. Our case or our settlement for the county would not, they would have to be individual claims for individual persons.
So we would not be representing we would only be representing.
The county's interest.
Well, the county's interest, I mean, how many people does the county really employ that are military service members, chemical industry workers, airport workers, or firefighters? We don't employ anybody in the.
The county's interest would be more in line with what the state's claim is about. It's not about individual cases of cancer. It's about damage to natural resources.
But,
Public health issue.
okay, it doesn't really address public health in this. It's more about individual claims, as I read it.
Yeah, what I was explaining is there are more than 4,000 cases now pending against 14 manufacturers. Those are individual persons. A lot of them are represented by these firms, but they're individual persons with claims for personal damages. The state of North Carolina entered into this just in last fall, and that's kind of unusual. I think now that a few other states have also entered into lawsuits, or have filed lawsuits. But this is, with the state being in it, with North Carolina being in it, it's anticipated there will be some type of global settlement situation with North Carolina.
Just out of curiosity, if we're talking about the public health mitigation or effects of this on our public health system, how do you put a number on that?
That's why you have to hire attorneys like this.
Huh?
That's why you have to hire attorneys like this.
They have some experts that go in there, Jimmy, and say that this is, you got experts on both sides, and you come to some agreement in the middle as to what that is. I don't think it's ever going to probably completely cover all the individuals or any of this that happened, but.
They have a host of experts on this legal team that works on these cases.
This ain't gonna happen during any of our lifetime, is it?
I think the settlement's coming. I think they've already done this lawsuit just about. This is the settlement part.
They didn't send this because it's a long shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I would make a motion that we go.
One
I'm
moment.
sorry. Oh, yeah,
Commissioner
somebody else.
Fairclough?
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If we're gonna send this back to negotiate, is that what your motion's gonna be?
Yes.
Okay. While we're negotiating the 25%, we also noticed that whatever expenses that the attorneys incur is gonna come out of our 75% or whatever it ends up being. I think we should negotiate that also. Let them take it out of whatever their fee is if they incur costs. That would be my thought on it, but, you know, if you can negotiate better than me, go get it.
But that's fine. I mean, I have no problem with doing the negotiation of that and on the fee and on local participation.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor?
Commissioner Jones?
Favor.
Unanimous.
Thank you, Commissioner.
We now move on to item 4C, consideration of request to update natural gas service lines and meters for the historic courthouse. Manager Greer, if you will introduce the item and presenter.
Yes, Piedmont Natural Gas wants to, requesting permission to install a natural gas line, to upgrade a natural gas line at the old courthouse. Jermaine Walker, Director of Engineering and Infrastructure, will be presenting this item and answering any questions you have. And he'll also be doing 4D also.
So, Commissioners, once again, this is a 4-inch gas line. It's going to be 166 feet from the street side of Gillespie Street in front of the historic courthouse to the back corner for the meter and the natural gas supply. This is necessary for the courthouse's 2 heating boilers and natural gas hot water heater. And once again, this will be performed at no cost to the county.
I'm glad it's no cost because there's a whole lot of work that could be done over there.
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions or discussions? Commissioner Council.
I'm ready for a motion if there are no questions. I recommend that the board, that we grant Piedmont Natural Gas Company Incorporated permission to upgrade the natural gas line and meter at no cost to the county.
Second?
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor?
Commissioner Jones?
In favor.
Unanimous.
Move on to item 4D. Mr. Walker.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. This project is mechanical systems project out at the Crown Complex. This is to replace one 250-ton cooling tower at the Expo, 8 air handlers at the Expo, and 2 725-ton chillers at the Crown Coliseum. By combining these projects into one project, we're able to save time, materials pricing, and on the service agreement. And we should be able to save somewhere around 4 to 5 months on the back end because we can issue the notice to proceed once the contract's approved and have the contract order the materials. Because some items are still, the timelines are getting better, but chillers are still a long lead item. And, excuse me, one thing to add, this project will require Budget Ordinance Amendment B 230234 in order to be fully funded.
Okay, are there any questions? Commissioner Keefe.
Yeah, this is a
Boost was first.
I know, I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
this is a capital improvement to the Crown, right?
Yes, sir.
So where's the budget? I didn't see, where's the budget coming from?
The Budget Ordinance Amendment is coming out of the ADA funding line.
Okay. And the ADA funding line is a line that we're using specifically for upgrades to the Crown or all facilities?
Upgrades to the Crown.
Okay, thank you. That's
yes, sir.
fine. All right.
Commissioner Booth.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just like seeing you up there today. Usually you give us bad news on extensions, overrides, change orders and everything, but the last one was at no cost to the county, and this one is to save time and save money. Welcome back. You know.
Well, thank you, Commissioner.
Commissioner Council.
I recommend that I move that we approve the bid to award to Superior Mechanical Services Incorporated based on the best overall value standard of the award. And we also approve Budget Ordinance Amendment B number 230234. And of course, our chairperson will execute the contract once it completes finance.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor?
Commissioner Jones?
In favor.
Unanimous.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. At this time, I will now call on Vice Chairman Adams for the nominations.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That takes us to the Southeastern Economic Development Commission. As we're aware, we have 4 members from the county in that, and the last one we had was our former county manager, Amy Cannon, whose terms expires March 31st, 2026. We extended her because she was on the executive committee, so this position would go on to the executive committee. I would nominate County Manager Clarence Greer to serve in that unexpired term.
Second.
It's just a nomination. It's not like
Oh,
a-
I'm sorry.
All right. Thank you. That takes us to the Fayetteville Cumberland County Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. There are 2 vacancies, and I will see if anybody has any recommendations. The Parks and Recreation had nominated 2 individuals to serve on that. 3 people for the 2, Antonio Renteria, Steve Harper, and Sabrina Stiegelman. I don't know if anybody else has any
I
nominations.
would like to nominate Trayvon McNeil. Commissioner Keefe.
I'd like to nominate Helen Stovall Brockett.
Helen Stovall.
Brockett, she's on the applicant list.
Okay.
I do have a question on this. These are unexpired terms, and so if they fill the unexpired term, will they still be eligible for two appointments
would.
afterwards?
They would be.
Okay, so there's enough left over.
Right, so they
Okay.
could go on and do their 2 terms.
Yes.
Commissioner Booth.
Yeah, are we doing the June ones? There's 2 or 3 on there that are coming up June ending of this year.
We're just doing the 2 vacancies that's.
Just 2 vacancies.
Yeah, then those will come up.
Okay. Not gonna nominate Justin Smith.
All right. Anyone else? All right, thank you. That will take us to the Fayetteville Cumberland County Economic Development Corporation. I would nominate Josh Choi. And any other nominations? You had Commissioner?
Commissioner Council.
No, that was,
That's
it was at
I'm
the.
sorry, Commissioner Fairclough.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to nominate Chris Bostock.
Commissioner Booth.
I'd like to nominate Ferd Irizarry.
Who? Freed, is it Freed?
No,
Ferd.
Ferdinand.
Spell that.
Hispanic.
F-E-R-D?
Mhm.
Okay. 'Cause she's young. Okay. Azaria, okay. That was all the nominations, Madam Chair. That would take us to the appointments. And the only appointment is the Jury Commission. Motion to appoint Catherine Marble to the Jury Commission.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor?
Commissioner Jones?
In favor.
Unanimous.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That's all I have.
Thank you. At this time, I will call on a motion to go into closed session pursuant to NCGS 143-318.11A7 and real property acquisition pursuant to NGSCS 143-318.1185. Is there a motion?
That was my motion, Madam Chair.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor?
Commissioner Jones?
In favor.
Unanimous.
Motion to come out of closed session.
Commissioner Jones?
In favor.
Unanimous?
If I can get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor? Meeting adjourned. Sally's on.
Just like to hit that.